being an education major and having so many mentors who have been teachers, I would say that I had my share of teachers who have been very compassionate, and then the ones that were like, you know, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about them. There's a whole lot of different words I can say. But one of the things I remember going into my 11th grade year was going into U.S. History AP. And AP classes are not very much big. There's not many people who get enrolled into that course. And I remember having one recommendation from a teacher who continued to believe that I plagiarized all my work, and if there's any time that I had corrected her for spelling a word wrong, she got angry and disappointed. But it's not that. It's just the fact that, you know, I want you to understand that I know what I'm talking about too. And that's just all it is. But when I got that recommendation and my teacher, Ms. Soul, showed me, she was like, Asa, I want you to see this. She was like, it said, Asa is not able to pass a class like this. He does not have the capabilities of passing a class like this. And even though I've struggled and continue to work, Ms. Soul had made me realize that, Asa, you can do this. You can do this. At the end of that class, I was the only one who passed that AP exam. And it was all because of her, I feel like. I can't even say it was because of me. I just give all of my humility and thanks to her. And it just comes back into realization that once, as I look at, you know, the high school students, I remember as I go into go into my school, and I feel as if I am in a war against everybody. And I'm not saying just as far as teachers and administrators, but my peers as well. Because they feel as if, okay, well, why is he dressing up? Why is he being so involved? It's a war within yourself that you have to continue to fight more and more each day. And it gets draining. And I would never wish it on anybody. But one of the things that I continue to tell high school students is just to keep on persevering and keep on pushing through. And even if you have to correct your teacher or tell your teacher how you're feeling, create that dialogue. Create your dialogue between the people who feel as if you are better than them. Say like, I'm not. I'm here right alongside with you. And you have the same opportunity as me.
How many teachers do we have in here today? All right, I want to thank all of you all for being here. And you heard Asa talk about Miss Soul. That's Soul, Miss Melissa Soul, right? And I remember reading about Miss Melissa Soul in his essay about 4 years ago. And actually, the last article that I wrote for The Root, I mentioned what he said about Miss Soul. And then I did a Google search of Miss Soul, and she was featured in this news documentary. I saw a picture of her, and I actually emailed the school and thanked her for what she did, you know, what she's doing for our young black males. And you know, this is a Caucasian woman, you know, so you don't have to be the same race, you don't have to be the same gender to make that impact. But teachers, they just do so much, and they really hold the keys to this. And I have a story similar to Asa's, where when I was in 5th grade, there was a teacher who was convinced that I was a slow learner. And it was obvious that she didn't think that my capacity to learn was what the other students were. There was a private school. My behavior continued to get worse and worse in that school, so my mother took me out of that school and just put me in the public school. And the teacher in the public school just thought that I was the most gifted student that she ever met. And I'm thinking, you know, well, am I dense or am I gifted? I don't know. You know? And, you know, I probably was, you know, I could have been either one, because I was only in 5th grade. I could have been dense or I could have been gifted. It really just depended on the teacher's expectation. And that's what we have to think about. When we look at our classes, we don't know which one is going to be the next doctor this, the next the next representative in the House of Representatives. You know, we don't know who's going to be that. So we might as well make the assumption that any of them could and treat them all accordingly.